okay? People feel bad. This country is meant to be a federation. The situation we have today, and you won't like what I'm about to tell you, but I have to say it. If a man like President Obasanjo, who we all revere, can say it, I will have to say it to you. Meanwhile, I've been saying it for the last 4 years, nobody listened. We have a government that has engineered and orchestrated a Fulanization and Islamization policy, which has led to division. Now, listen, that is the cause of the divisive language that you are not happy about. That is why people feel bad. That is why people are saying enough is enough. That is what is threatening the very foundation of our unity. And I'm saying this, if you want peace, if you want unity, we all want that. What you have to do is reverse this policy. And what do? You don't have a situation, fact, I can prove this to you, I'll send you the list tomorrow if you like. Fact, that every single security agency in this country, without exception, except for the Navy, a military arm, is headed by a Northern Muslim. I have nothing against Northern Muslims. I have many around me. Part of my family are Muslims. And I love Northerners. I live in the North. But it's never happened before. And what signal and message are you sending? A situation whereby the executive is headed by a Northern Muslim. The judiciary is headed by a Northern one, the CJ. The National Assembly, the Senate President, is headed by a the Senate President, a Northern Muslim. It ordinarily shouldn't matter. Do you understand me? That, it really shouldn't matter. But we are living in a multiracial, multicultural, multi-religious country where you must factor these things in everything that you do. I worked in the villa for many, many years. And I know what governments before the one I served, Obasanjo's government, and the one that came after that, Jonathan and Yar'Adua, the efforts they made to balance things. You go to the presidential villa today. Again, I can prove this to you, my dear daughter Osasu. 90% of the people that are working there, 90% are Hausa-speaking Northern Muslims. Let me tell you this, all right? Sometimes we have to live with the ugly facts, all right? Sometimes we have to accept that. And then you now consider that and now look at how people will react to that. Now, it wouldn't matter if it was left at that. But where you have a situation where on top of all that, you have Fulani herdsmen claiming land, killing people for their land, burning churches, burning pastors, and so on and so forth, and even killing people in the Northwest itself, which is unacceptable. And thank God we have dynamic governors like the governor of Zamfara State who is doing something about it now. You have this going on all over the country. And you have a particular ethnic group, I won't mention their name again, you're uncomfortable with it. Okay, I can see that.
It's your opinion. I'm not uncomfortable. I just want us to state facts at all times.
And this is precisely, Osasu, you will not accuse me of not doing it. That is precisely what I'm doing now. And that's why they hardly ever respond to me, because I don't just talk lightly. And I've been saying this thing for years, and I knew it would happen before it happened. And I kept saying, so nobody, now they go, you were right. Now, what do we do about it? You don't, because the solution is the important thing. You don't start locking up people like Suri for saying that he wants to do a demonstration, and he says he wants a revolution. Now, he is not serious. You and I, he was speaking metaphorically. There is absolutely no law that says a man should not say, I want to protest. What he really meant to say is he wants to protest. Now, look at the situation now. We have become so insensitive in this country that a young man who I don't particularly like, I've been victim of his attacks on many occasions since 2005. Right now, as we speak, he is in detention. He will be there for the next 45 days. They're likely to renew that to another 45 days after that, and then they'll probably charge him to treason. Do you know the impact and the effect that will have on him, psychologically, his family, his loved ones, and his dependents? Dasuki has been there for over 3 years now. Nobody talks about him anymore. What about his family? What about his loved ones? Elzak Zaki, I hope he's been released now. I'm not sure if he has. He's been there for how many years? We tend to forget those that have suffered these things. Maybe because I went through it. For 3 months, a total, I was locked up. And I was in a Boko Haram cell for a considerable period of time in a special unit in Kuje prison, built only for Boko Haram prisoners. Osasu, I can prove that. I will provide the evidence for you.
But you do agree that Shore's phrasing of revolution is problematic.
The point, I don't see that it is problematic at all. And I'll tell you why. If somebody says, I want to... Okay, if I sing to you, as I'd love to do this morning, I say, oh, revolution now, can you then say I'm committing treason?
But the reality is that his terms and some of the demands, if not met, could pose further crisis and problems. So the issue of fuel prices was one of the demands.
Let me tell you what
which
you
is
do.
unrealistic.
Let me tell you what is sensible. We did it when we were in government. Many people spoke like that. We responded verbally. We don't lock people up for saying, I will protest, I'm going on a revolution, and so on and so forth. And then you say you want to charge them as treason. It's like carrying a hammer to kill, hit every nail with a hammer. You don't do that. I'm only calling for restraint. And I'm calling for sensible governance. Tolerate the opposition. You don't hammer people into the ground. The real terrorists are wandering around killing people. Sowore has never carried arms. Sowore has never said he wants to kill anybody. Sowore, as far as I'm aware, Sowore has never said he wants insurrection. Sowore has never said that he wants to topple this government through military means. Sowore has simply said, people come out and demonstrate, I'm tired of it. And he was part of them before anyway. He was one of those that supported Buhari in 2015. He changed his mind. When this was done to Jonathan, all of them came out. Buhari came out, Tinubu came out, Sowore came out.
You even were in the party at the point
I was there for 9 miserable months, and honestly speaking, I left because I now knew that I'd gone to the wrong place, and I fought them ever since, and I will continue to fight them. So the issue is this: why the division? Why the double standard? And that's what we're concerned about. We love this country. We want peace. We don't want anything that's outside the democratic process, and we want to be guided by the rule of law and by the Constitution. Nobody's plotting to topple this government. It doesn't make sense. I would much rather we wait till 2023 and the APC is voted out of power. And that's why it's important for us to keep on emphasizing the division and the strife that they have caused, not by just their words, because they said many things that are unacceptable, but also by their actions. And I'll just end this part by saying this. Our vice president went to America. Verifiable, I'll provide the evidence. And he told the vice president of America that the problem of Fulani herdsmen was exaggerated. Meanwhile, people are being killed every day. And he came back and members of his own church were abducted. This is why I'm saying they have lost sight with reality. And they need to channel their power to resist those that are really terrorizing our people and terrorizing us, and not use their power to butcher us. One more thing I'll say. We spoke about Ayman and Shia Muslims earlier. Nobody's talking about the fact that El Zakzaki's children have been killed by soldiers. Nobody's talking about the fact that I believe it was 2 years ago, 2016, 300, according to the official report. I know, and I won't quote the number that I know because you will say, well, that's not...
there are actually facts to prove to back that one up. Amnesty International said over 300 people were killed.
And I can assure you it was well over, but I won't tell you the figure because you might get upset. But it's well over that. Killed by soldiers in the streets of Zaria for blocking a road. This is abuse of power. Nobody has been convicted for that. Nobody has even been challenged for it. And then finally you have a situation where our brave policemen, and I have to say this, because it's not all policemen that are bad.